Welcome to A-Side Boxing. I'm one of your hosts, Marlon Parker, alongside with Ray Massey and Carlos Massey. Today, we have the honor of interviewing Ronny Rios, Santa Ana's own Ronny Rios. How you doing, Ronny?
I'm doing very well. Thank you guys for having me. What a pleasure it is to be on the podcast with you guys. So thank you guys for having me.
No, man, it's a pleasure to have you. Hard-hitting Mr. Body Shot himself. Come on.
I know. It's been a one hectic ride. You know, a lot of ups and downs, but overall it's been a very good career, and I've established so many good relationships with so many different people, and it's been a blessing. You know.
Exactly. You've been at it since what, 2008?
I think it was 2009. Yeah, because I went 2009, 2010, give or take.
Okay. All right. And now we are here, and I know you've stated that this might be it.
Yeah. I've said that numerous times.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess unless you've been in the sport and you've competed professionally, it's very hard for you. You know, don't get me wrong. You have good victories, and it's motivating. But when you get to that certain level, the championship level, and you fail, it's heartbreaking. It's like, damn, and I know my body can do it. It's hard emotional wise. Emotional wise instead of physical. Physical, and I can do it because I still train. I still work out. I still stay in shape, but as far as like the emotional side, it's very, very hard, especially when when you get to the very championship style or the hard point, and then you fail. That's a hard pill to swallow.
Right. And oftentimes we hear this from other fighters, the mental toll that it takes you to one mentally get in. Discipline your body to get in peak performance, and then two, the other side is dealing with the psychological aspect of it. The fans, the other fighter trying to get in your head, and also just the media trying to project yourself. Do you find that the most difficult part of being a professional fighter?
I think the thing I find the most difficult of being a professional fighter is all the sacrifice you do. I don't know if you guys have a family, but it's just when you're away from your family, when you're training, you can't even want to eat. You can't do certain stuff. It's a sacrifice, and then you sacrifice everything, and at the very end, you lose. It's tough to want to get back to the gym and say, especially when you have 4 losses. When it's very hard to tell yourself, I want to get back in and go back at it. But at the same time, it's just heartbreak, and I think that's the hardest thing.
That's what makes champions, Ronny.
Yeah, I know. And like I said, I think I have no doubt in my mind my body can still do it. It's just the heart that's the hard part to convince yourself. It's like get start back from ground zero and stuff.
Yeah. That's what like the whole like Ray was talking about the mental preparation. How do you prepare yourself to just like? Was it like, did you do it in steps to say like this is it? Because you put on some great performances, excellent body puncher, hard hitting fighter. Was it something that you planned out like prior to making that decision?
No, as far as retiring, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, as far as like hanging it up.
No, not at all. It's like when you're getting ready for a big fight, you don't think about what if I lose. Yeah, you can't go into a fight like that. It's just you prep yourself up, and you're like, damn, the belts are right there. It's like within reach, and then you don't reach for them, and it's just like, damn, it's very, very hard for to like it's kind of hard to say, but it's almost like you get in a little funk. You kind of want to be left alone. Yeah. It wasn't as bad as when I lost to Ray Vargas, because now I have a bigger son. I have another one on the way, and I have a wife. So you still got to be yourself, but deep down inside, it just hurts that you didn't accomplish those dreams. And like I said, just speaking to you guys, it makes you miss the ring, and not so much as like the fame and people coming up to you, because at the end of the day, that's not the reason why I was doing it. It was just you know, the preparation part, the going to the gym, getting ready, just in the back of your mind, you're obsessed with something and you keep doing it. You keep doing it 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. You keep doing it, and then you go out there and you get that win, and it's you feel very content. You know, you feel very happy about yourself.
Well, Ronnie, it's in you. So I mean, we can hear, I can hear it in your voice.
Yeah.
You're not retiring.
No.
And you also spoke about, you know, and just to go back on that family piece. You know, I know you said, you know, we have families. We have families. I mean, with the exception of Marlon.
Yeah.
He hatched. He doesn't really have a family. So,
I actually do. They're great.
We actually do. I mean, it's funny because a lot of people see you as a boxer, a commentator, you know, a podcast, and they don't know that you have a life outside of this. You know, you have a family, you have a wife, you have a kid, and just boxing. I mean, if you guys have done it, it's a lot of time to sacrifice, and that's something that, like I told everybody around me, I don't mind sacrificing. I don't mind going all this time without seeing my family and stuff, eating the stuff you want to eat, but it's just like, because you're never gonna get that time back.
No,
You know,
will not.
you're never. That's one thing that people don't seem to understand is, to me, time is more important than money.
The
Because that's
older,
something that yeah, without a doubt, you know. And I see you guys are brothers, correct? You guys are brothers, and you guys look like you guys are awfully really close, and that's what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm pretty sure you guys appreciate your guys' relationship more than going out and, you know, obviously making money and etc. So my thing is just right now just spending time with my family, and I don't know if I'll ever get back serving. Right now, as you can see by my body, it doesn't look like anytime soon.
I was just about to ask you, what have you been eating? Because then that would tell us all. So,
okay.
No,
You asked me what have I been eating? I'm gonna put it this way. What haven't I been eating?
Same here.
Right.
I'm gonna put it that way. What haven't I been eating?
Ronnie, I asked this about, we talk about this quite a lot, and you just mentioned it. You've had a great career, and you mentioned your 4 losses. And this has come up on our podcast a few times. When have we got to this point where 4 losses, 5 losses, and someone's career is over? This is ridiculous where we are now. Some of the greats have multiple losses.
Yeah,
you can still do it, and was still ranked at 11.
Yeah. Well, you guys gotta keep in mind. I don't know if you guys saw my professional record, my resume. My very first loss to was Robinson Castellanos. He had like 10, 11 losses. That was my very first loss. So, you know, don't get me wrong. It's not about the losses. I know I don't really care about the losses, because if I can go out there and capture good, solid, entertaining victories, then that's all that matters. It's just, you know, at what point do you want to say, oh, I want to keep on going with this one? Which I know I could. I know my body could. I know I can get up in the morning and do all that sacrifice, but I don't know. It's just a heart. You know, when your heart breaks like that, especially after losing like that, it's very hard to move forward.
I know the feeling, man. So Carlos and I, we used to box, so we, you know, silver gloves, golden gloves, and I had that feeling before too. It's like leaving the USABF tournament, and I was in the finals, and you work really hard to get there, and then you suffer a loss that sets you back, and you gotta wait. Then you go on the waiting list, and then you kind of have to mentally repair and get back to that hunger, because sometimes losses, although to me losses are learning experiences.
Yeah, agree.
But a loss can also have a emotional toll to it, where it just makes you feel like the road to glory is that much further away.
Yes.
Because you had that loss. But sometimes a good loss, and there are good losses out there, when if the fight is entertaining, people will pay to see you again. And I've seen your fights, and you rank up there with some of the best action-packed fighters I've seen. You got a vicious body assault. And people like to see that, man.
I love to see it. We love to see it.
think about if you ask anyone, you know, who's one of their favorite fighters that known for body shots, Julio Cesar Chavez,
Yeah.
I think I memorized El Grande, El Cuyacan, El Champion.
Yeah, he's a real cool guy. I actually had the privilege to meet him a few times.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I did. I have a picture with him. He was doing this this kind of like this little segment on TV. It was called Golpe al Golpe. So they had me on there right before the Ray Vargas fight. I got to meet him, and he's a really humble guy. And I got to ask him a lot of good questions and stuff. As a fighter, it's interesting, to see, because like you said, you had an amateur career, right? What was your amateur record?
When I got out, I think I was around like 25 and 7, 8, probably even more than that. But I didn't fight a lot. I didn't stay long because once I graduated high school, I made some military decisions.
Okay.
Got me out of it. But when I did fight, like I said, I fought amongst all the world champions. I fought Zaire Rahim. He was the 1996.
Yeah.
I
He
fought
beat
Steve Carter.
Manny Pacquiao,
No. I fought so Zaire Rahim, he was a 96, he made the 96 Olympic team. Steve Carter was the alternate. I fought him as well. Both of those were close split decision losses. And I won the Golden Gloves one year. My brother, he won the Silver Gloves. And of course I beat quite a few nationally ranked fighters.
Yeah.
But
in the military. Hold up. Don't leave it out. Don't leave it out. We give it up.
The military, actually, I won the middleweight tournament in Saudi, and I won that too. But just competing on an amateur level, I understand to an extent some of the sacrifices and the punishment your body takes to get in world-class competition shape. So I can imagine that being a pro, it's not that much difference. It's probably even harder to an extent because you guys are fighting with no headgear.
Yeah,
and you
different.
guys are going in. You guys are adults going into foreign land a lot of times.
Yeah,
so yeah.
And it's your job too. So you gotta do it if it'll show up in the ring. But one thing I will say I like about you is you in one of your past interviews, you made the statement you fought everybody. You didn't duck anybody. And I think that made you sharper. You know what I'm saying? Now I guess the struggle will be is finding something to like maybe occupy your time so you're not thinking about the ring as much. So yeah. So what, you got any hobbies? Anything you're doing new or?
Am I doing any hobbies? Yeah, I'm doing real estate at the moment. I'm doing real estate.
Oh yeah, rest.
Yeah, real estate. Yeah.
Real estate. I'm just saying. Hey.
Yeah. Hey, but anyways, going back, Zahir Rahim, he beat I think he beat Eric Morales, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, he did.
Zaire beat Morales. He won the WBC championship. We actually talked. He's supposed to be on here, so hopefully we get him, grab him, and chat with him. But yeah, he was very elusive.
Yeah, he wasn't. Wait, he beat Eric Morales, and I think he lost to, was it Acelino Fritas? Who did he lose to?
He lost. I think he did. Acelino Fritas.
Yeah, I think he did lose to him, right?
I think so. He always asks me about showing.
No, we always go back and forth. No, so yeah, I never give him any credit. He doesn't.
Yeah,
he may have Fritas. Because
I think he might have beaten Fritas. Fritas was good. I remember he had his first loss against Diego Corrales.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Another legend.
Yeah.
Another legend. He had so many great fights. A lot of people don't talk about him because
we talk about him all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but a lot of people don't give him a lot of credit. That guy had some great fights.
Yeah.
Fritas was one of them when he knocked him out. I think it was in the later rounds. That was a good fight.
Exactly, and everyone knows that Corrales and Castillo too. That fight, Corrales and Castillo, round 10. Get out of here. That was probably the best ever.
Yeah. I didn't like the fact that Castillo didn't make weight. Was it the third time around?
Yeah.
Was it? I think it was the second. Was it? Was it
Was it
second?
the second or third?
I think
No, it was
may
the
have been the
third one.
second.
Not- It was
You
the
say
third
third,
one.
I say second. Then we both. Someone's right. Some one of us is
I
right.
think you might be right. I think you might be right. 'Cause
So
that's kind of cheating because if the other guy didn't even bother making weight, he's going to the fight with an advantage, a huge advantage.
And by the way, just a pause. We were correct. It was the second. It was the second. Austin Freitas did beat Zayn.
Yeah.
Is he Heroin, right? Beat him?
Huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
you know, Austin Freitas beats the Heroin, right?
Yes.
Yes, that was right. I knew it. I see.
Yeah, he's always wrong. So here's the thing. We have him. He's right here, so he can always be wrong, and we can always fact check.
no. Let me tell you.
Hey,
Sometimes
but you know
I'm
what?
so right. I'm sometimes
Hey,
I'm
I'll
so
give you
right.
credit.
You
Though.
find out
I'll give you
off
credit. I'll give you credit just by like your demeanor. You look like you're right though.
I worked on that. I worked on that's my profession.
You're a confident guy.
It's the glass. It's the profession. No, it's now. I had a question. I had a great question too. You just threw me off. I blame him all the time. No, I got to talk about it. Just within the last 2 years, you put on a major show when you upset De La Hoya.
Yeah.
Oh man, no one. I mean, obviously your fans, everyone knew it could happen, but on that card, you and your brother, you guys went crazy. You just get out of here. You stole the show.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that fight. I remember I was in the zone, man. I was in the zone for like 8 to 10 weeks. I can't remember how long our camp was. So everything was just like a blur. It was just like, I was just focused. And then I remember when he fell, 'cause I remember it was an uppercut that dropped him. It was an uppercut that dropped him. I went to the corner. I remember he got up, and when he got up, I was like, okay, when he gets up, I'm gonna try to do this combination. And then I saw the referee wave the fight. I remember if you look at the tape, I put my hand on my gloves, like, man, I can't believe it's over. I was like, damn, like you worked so hard for such a long time. You're just the only thing on your mind is how to win this fight. So when that time finally comes, you're just like, oh man, it's over. Like, damn, it was an incredible feeling, man.
That was a big win.
I know. I can imagine, man. I know you were. I know.
Yeah, that was cool.
I mean, you could see him breaking down. You could see him breaking down. You were landing more and more body shots, and then actually, we'll put him down. It was I think it was a body shot that followed up with the uppercut, and then that's when he went down. And the ref looked at his face. I guess I hate to say it. He didn't seem like he wanted to continue, and the ref made the decision.
No, I guess he told the ref no more.
Oh.
Yeah, he did. I want to say
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought the referee stopped it, but then I guess the referee said that he said, that's it, no more. I was like, damn. I was like, that that was even extra special right there because it's just a fighter. When another fighter's like, okay, that's it, then it's just I don't know, it's just over. It's just a better glory. I don't know why.
No, you were at the point in your career you were still riding high, and they had this prospect coming in who, if it. By all accounts, a lot of times, if it had went to the cards, it might not have favored you because they were really pushing De La Hoya at that point. So you ended it.
One judge had him winning, I think. I think they might have suspended him.
Really?
I think so. I think it was one judge. I can't remember his name, though, but I think one judge had him. And then my corner kind of submitted something towards the state of California, and I think he might have got in trouble for it.
It's a cold game, boxing.
Yeah,
it's a cold game. Everyone we talk
amateur and boxing, amateur and professional, doesn't matter what. It's one of tough game, man.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons, man. It's one of those sports that you either hate or love. Sometimes it's both. But people are pulled to it because it's that old gladiator style of competition where the best man, in most cases, wins. The insertion of the judges and the referees kind of puts a little bit of politics into the mix, where what everybody else thought they saw doesn't end up being the result.
When you say the referee, plays a major role, the only fight that pops in my mind is a Richard Steele when Chavez fought Meldrick Taylor.
What was your call?
Then he stopped the fight. Huh?
What was your call? Was it a legit stoppage or no?
You know what? honestly, I don't know about that one. That was tough, man. Because Nudgy Taylor was such a warrior.
Mhm.
That guy was a good fighter. He's another fighter that does not get a lot of credit because after that fight, I think mentally he was never able to rebound after that. And as you guys saw, they fought again. I don't know if you guys know, but they fought part two. And he stopped him like in the 8th round or something, 8th or 6th round.
Same
So
type of thing. Same thing.
Now,
yeah,
Ronnie, I saw in another interview, you said your first fight you ever watched was the Floyd fight. It was a Floyd versus,
Castillo part two.
yeah.
Yeah.
My first fight, and I was a fan of, I fondly remember, was Camacho. I watched the Camacho fight by myself in the kitchen of my great grandmother's home in Santee, South Carolina. And it just made me fan. And so I don't even remember. I know I was the only one in the kitchen, and what the fight was on, it was a small television, and he came out dancing, and it captured me. I said, "What is this?" And he backed it up. He put the guy away. I couldn't remember who he fought, but I said, my cousins were outside playing. I finished and watched the fight, and from then I was a fan. My grandmother and grandfather, they were huge boxing fans, and my grandfather boxed a little on the service. But from that day, that was the first fight I remember, and I've always been a fan since then. So I understand when we talk to each other and I hear other guys say the first fight I remember or the first fight I watched, it's emblazoned in your mind and you can't get it out of there. It does something to you.
And it's funny how, because like the smallest details are what you remember the most. And it's just like stuff like that. Like what got me into boxing, what made me like boxing was did you guys ever see the KO magazines?
Yes.
You guys remember the covers? The covers. So it was so and so versus so and so, and in the middle of the thing was the centerfold. Okay, he has solid record over this career accomplishments, whatever. The first one that I picked up and I read was Vernon Forrest versus Sugar Shane Mosley Part 2. And I remember I was like, damn, I read the centerfold and I was like, hey, those are some cool names. So I opened them up and I started reading. I was like, man, that sounds cool. Sure enough, I got to watch the fight, and Vernon Forrest was just so dominant. It wasn't even like a competitive fight. It was an entertaining fight, but it was, it just goes to show you the stuff that you see, like the stuff that you learn. To most people, it would have been like, oh, this was a very boring fight. But to me, I was like, man, Vernon Forrest knew what he was doing, and he really outboxed him very well.
And if you knew him in the amateurs, it gives you that backstory that a lot of people, it's almost like you feel like a comic book reader when you see some of these people cheering about like the movies like The Incredible Hulk or X-Men.
Yeah.
You go, man, you think that was good, you should have saw the comic book. It's almost like if you think about the actual Vernon Forrest Shane Mosley fight was good, you should have seen them in the amateurs. They were just as good. They were just as entertaining, if not better, because the pros, it's like the pace kind of slows down a bit. Your punches are more deliberate, and that which is the difference from amateurs. Amateurs, you're just throwing a lot of punches to score points. But the knockout ratio is much higher. You see,
the punches are a lot more, and you also have sorry about that. You don't have any headgear, so if you guys do collide, heads is gonna hurt a lot too. And a lot of people don't know once you have a headbutt, you start bleeding, and it affects your that it affects your provisions and stuff, and it's just stuff that in the fight, a lot of people don't see. Like a lot of people don't know the little details that you have to, you have to pick up in a fight. It's like, oh, if you're peripheral, you can't see the hook, you can't see certain punches coming. It just bothers you, and
Hey, Ronny, you training anybody we need to look out for? Coming up there, you got a son, so you got him in there, or?
No, that's my little man. Yeah, he's my little man. He actually, he doesn't like boxing too much. I don't know why. Maybe because when he was a little kid, we took him to go watch when I fought a Zot, and he was crying when I lost that fight. So I think he's emotional. Maybe he could be emotionally scarred. I don't know. That's just my first thing.
I think as fathers, we've all emotionally scarred our kids in some way.
Yeah, but it's cool because he's watching he watches his uncle Alexis Rocha fight. So
Oh, speaking of Alexis Rocha, He's a
Yeah.
good fighter
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, watch the next one, October 29th. That's gonna be a good one. I can't say who it is yet,
Right.
because I don't want to say before they announce it, but it's
Yeah.
gonna be a good one.
Okay, we will.
I see the similarities too with their body work.
The body work, but the thing that I will give to Lex is that he's more of a power puncher than I am. If you see me fight, I'm not a power puncher. I'm more of like, wearing you down, where Lex is like has that pop, that pop that can hurt somebody.
Yeah.
You got some pop, man.
Yeah, you do. Exactly. Yeah,
That's not necessarily a true statement.
like he's giving his brother, being modest and giving his brother a
He
compliment.
would never
Okay.
give me a compliment.
No.
And I don't compliment either of these guys.
Uh,
Ronnie, what in your career, what was the funniest moment in your professional career?
like as far as like inside the ring, outside the ring.
As long as it's connected to boxing, we've heard some funny stories connected to boxing, some in the ring, some just outside the ring. Yeah, but we've heard a lot of funny stories. What moment sticks out when you've got your son running around? If you can say it, what is the funniest moment you can think of in or out the ring connected to your career?
It's kind of hard to say because there's like a lot of stories. I can't think of any. I'll give you guys a funny story. I thought it was pretty funny. So one of the guys that actually trained with us, me and him fought on the same card. It was in Costa Mesa, so we fought on the same card, right? And then afterwards, everybody went and celebrated on their own because we both won. The next day, I found out that he went to the hospital, but he won his fight by like first or second round knockout. So then I asked him, like, wait, bro, how come we went to the hospital? He's like, oh, I went home. After the fight, went home, and I guess my mom's boyfriend picked a fight with me, and I knocked him out. So they got a street fight. So they got a street fight and knocked him out. So then the next day, they were like, we came into the gym, like 3 days later, they started clapping, and he's like, because he had a cast on, he had to get stitches. And he's like, why is everyone laughing? I said, because like you had two big victories on the same night. So that was up there. That's one of them. But as far as like, there's just like so many little things just like that happen inside the ring that, or around boxing, like just you least expect it. It's so hard to say. Like there was another time too. I think it was when I fought Jason Velez. So it was on a big card. We were on our way to the arena. So we were getting to, because they shuttle you in like these private vans. So it was me and my team. They were putting us in the thing, and it was in the back part of the hotel. I think it was the MGM Grand. I remember we were going outside. There was this guy, just like some guy. We were in Vegas, so he must have been drunk. We were on our way into the van, and one of the security guards, I think he even had a gun. He looked at the guys like, "Hey, you get the fuck out of here, you pervert!" And we have a brother like, get the fuck out of here, pervert! I was like, we started laughing, just like little details like that. It's like hilarious,
Ronnie, this has been an honor. Seriously.
No, thank you.
I want you to know how much it means to have you on here and speak with you. You're a piece where you are as fans. You always want to push someone to keep going, but you're a piece, and if you're a piece, we're a piece, and we enjoyed having you. Hopefully you'll come back in the future. We check in, see where you are in a couple of months. Probably check in with your brother, but
Brian, we enjoy fighters, man. And one of the things about boxing and boxers, no matter what level you're at, you'll find the most intriguing stories in between those lines between the fan and the boxer. Sometimes you'll see the boxers are some of the biggest fans. They started off as fans and had great things. And so as the fan to me, I salute you for going out there on your shield and giving the fans a great show and demonstrating the courage and commitment it takes to be a future world champion. I just see you with so many good years in front of you, man. But I do also understand that once a soldier decides to lay the guns down, it should be respected because the things you've done up to this point have been commendable. So
Thank you guys, and I want to thank you guys, for having me on your show. Thank you guys so much. It's been such a privilege. And I also want to wish you guys the best, man. Hopefully, you guys can blow up, and people can see more of you guys, and you guys can interview more fighters, promoters, managers. Just I wish you guys the best, and I wish you guys a lot of success.
Thanks, man.
Well, thanks, Ron. Thank you, man. Again, Zayside Boxing with Ronny Rios. Till next time.
Thank you.